When there's a breakup, it's exceedingly hard, especially if the person is young. Why? Because the relationship often feels like it represents the whole future. They know there are other people out there, but it can feel like the entire world is shutting down. The brain interprets the person as gone in both time and space, which makes healing incredibly difficult. This has become much harder with social media, because people can check up on their exes, even hear from them. In the old days, like when I was growing up, you just took the phone off the hook or diverted your attention. Now we're constantly renewing the illusion that the person is still there. Love and the loss of love, the grief, are virtually identical because they are driven by that motivational state. This is why it's so hard not to reach out to someone you miss and want back. I saw a study last week where researchers asked participants to rate the emotional and physical pain of a breakup. They found that women tend to be more negatively affected, reporting high levels of both physical and emotional pain. But while breakups hit women the hardest, they tend to recover more fully over time. Men, on the other hand, rarely fully recover. I thought that was very interesting, and honestly, it rings true with my experience and observations. It also relates to how comfortable someone is feeling their feelings. Whether male or female, how willing you are to feel the full depth and intensity of those emotions will strongly influence how quickly you move through grief. The same applies to trauma. The more willing someone is to confront and feel the feelings linked to that trauma, the quicker they will process it. Again, I'm drawing from Paul Katie's words here. These aren't mine. People use various strategies to avoid feeling these emotions: distraction, sublimation into anger, avoidance, or trying to self-soothe with alcohol, new partners, or other means. But these tactics don't work. They just extend the process because the map of space, time, and closeness needs to be fractured. The only way to do that is for the brain to confront the reality that the person is no longer available. It's like the food on the other side of a wall. It's gone, and you cannot get through it anymore. It's the same with relationships. You can see this in animal studies, which are sometimes hard to watch. Animals perseverate, damaging themselves trying to get through barriers to what they are highly motivated to see. People do that after a breakup too. They often talk about the breakup repeatedly, which is a form of perseverating, asking what they did wrong, what went wrong, etc. Some of that analysis is healthy, some not. So, why do some people seem more effective at handling breakups? Probably because they have the ability to really feel and confront the full sadness. From an early age, some learn to pack down feelings. I'm not a psychologist, but what we learn is top-down control, like forcing yourself to go public speaking or jump off a high dive. Grief is an autonomic state, high arousal with a negative connotation. You can be highly alert and aroused with happiness, sadness, or anger. We learn to tamp down that arousal. That's what tamping down means, reducing heart rate and control. That's how we stay functional each day, rather than sobbing uncontrollably into a pillow. Some people, like the late Steve Jobs, were big opponents of scream therapy. He used to go into the hills behind Stanford, believing cathartic release could help return him to a happier, kinder state. Interestingly, he was also known for screaming at colleagues, so he clearly had a lot pent up inside. I think the better we get at leaning into those emotions we fear the most, but in a controlled way, not harming ourselves or others, the faster we heal. The more we try to avoid or sublimate, the longer the suffering persists. I've been there. I would use anger or sadness to push myself to work harder, thinking I was working through it. But that's an illusion. You get the rewards of effort, but you don't remap the emotional map of closeness. 5 or 10 years later, you may wonder why you're exhausted or why certain things in life aren't going right. It's because, when you haven't fully dealt with the loss, you never really processed the feelings. Once you do, it's like a valve opens and the pain is released. That's the real path to healing, and it's essential for genuine emotional resilience and future well-being.